Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming to our public information meeting and hearing for the Gage Products Company for their hazardous waste license renewal application. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you're looking for exits, you can exit out of this room, out of that door, and then the exit is either straight that way or straight behind me, down that hallway. And if you're looking for the restrooms, they'll be right out that door and down that hallway, and the restrooms are on the left. When we get to our Q&A, please just raise your hand, ask a question, and you'll get called on. And then just so everyone knows, for the record, this meeting is being recorded. With me, I would like to introduce the project team that has been working on this license renewal. We have, well, I'm Ashley, I'm the geologist and the acting project manager throughout this license renewal. With me, I have Joe Rogers, a geologist, Sean Shields, an environmental quality analyst, and then Kaylee, another environmental quality analyst. And then we have Todd Zinda, who is our district inspector. The purpose of the meeting is to provide an overview of the facility's hazardous waste operations, outline the hazardous waste operating license renewal process and the draft license, and offer an opportunity for the attendees to ask questions, and then provide an opportunity for public comments during the following hearing. So what is a hazardous waste? Hazardous wastes are wastes that have been determined to be a threat to human health or the environment. Waste is defined as hazardous if it is included on specific lists within the regulations, known as listed hazardous waste, or exhibit a characteristic of toxicity, reactivity, ignitability, or corrosivity. Listed wastes come from certain sources or are discarded commercial chemicals. Determinations on whether a waste is a hazardous waste must be made when the waste is generated. Hazardous waste regulations are very prescriptive. Federal and state law require facilities to obtain a license to treat, store, or dispose of hazardous waste. And that is where we come in. So who is EGLE? We are the Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy. And our mission is to protect Michigan's environment and public health. EGLE's Materials Management Division regulates hazardous waste facilities in Michigan. We are overseen and partially funded by the Environmental Protection Agency. We issue licenses that specify when, where, and how waste can be managed on site. These licenses can last up to 10 years. After that, the company must submit a renewal application, and EGLE will reevaluate the conditions and the operations. I'll go into a little bit of licensing history. So Gage was actually founded in 1936. The Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, RCRA, wasn't established until 1976, and then the state program wasn't established till a little later, in the 80s, and then more regulations in the 90s. So Gage's initial operating license wasn't issued until 1994. It was then renewed about every 10 years, so in 2003 and then 2015. Gage's license was set to expire March 31st, 2025, but they submitted their renewal application on October 1st of 2024. So the submittal of a complete renewal application before the expiration date of the previous license allows them to continue operating under that existing license. Gage is a solvent reclamation, blending, and distribution facility. Products produced at Gage include custom solvents, paint-related products and cleaners, and fuels, and their primary customer is the auto industry. The property is enclosed with fencing, a gate, and 24-hour surveillance so that access to the facility is secure. The facility is located at 625 Wanda Street, but the limited storage facility is that whole roofed area under the red box on the screen, located west of Wanda Street between Silman Street and Jewel Street. The roofed area in the red rectangle is the licensed portion of the facility that we are here to talk about today. The hazardous waste generator and manufacturing activities are not a part of this license. Although you can see the product containers and tanks in this photo, as well as if you look around the site, it is not a part of this license. And this is a limited storage facility due to the requirements of operating a limited storage facility. Due to the requirements of operating a limited storage facility, Gage is only authorized to accept waste from their customers, not other treatment, storage, or disposal facilities. Storage only occurs in tanks and containers, and they're authorized to hold a maximum of 25,000 gallons of hazardous waste in tanks and containers before on-site recycling or off-site disposal. They may not store more than 200 containers on site with a capacity of 55 gallons or less. And they're only allowed to store this waste for up to 90 days. The limited storage facility is comprised of 3 areas that are located under the roof. That's the loading area, loading and unloading bays, the container storage area, and the tank barn. Hazardous waste may be received via bulk trailer or 55-gallon drums. The container storage area can hold up to 2,750 gallons, approximately 50 drums. The secondary containment in this area includes spill collection and a sump. And then there are the 5 above-ground storage tanks in 1 tank farm, and that has a capacity of 22,250 gallons, and it also has secondary containment. And then the unloading area has 3 bays with spill collection and containment, and the enclosed portion of the limited storage facility is equipped with an automatic fire suppression system. Okay, so these are real photos of the limited storage facility. The photo on the left is of the 3 unloading bays, and the photo on the right is the container storage area. The concrete in all 3 areas of the limited storage facility has a micro-silica lining, which meets the requirements for an impervious barrier, preventing any waste from absorbing into the cement. The container storage area and unloading bays are designed with curbing and floors sloped towards the sump. This design allows spills or leaks in the area to be captured and not travel outside of the area. As shown in the picture, the tanks are located within a secondary containment area with cement walls that contain that micro-silica lining that prevents absorption and a collection sump. Additionally, a protective sheathing has been installed around the outside perimeter of the tanks. This design prevents leaks or spills from moving beyond the tank storage area. These are the same operations that they proposed in the application, and it meets all of the technical requirements. So this is a brief overview of our license renewal process. It starts with the submittal of their license application, which happened October 1st, 2024, before their license was set to expire March 31st of 2025. We then do our completeness and technical reviews. It was determined technically adequate August 6th, 2025, and that is also when we released the draft license. The public comment period is currently August 6th to September 22nd, and today we are doing our public hearing. And then we will, after the public comment period, we will review and respond to the comments and make our final decision. Some of the general draft license conditions as outlined in Part 111 and its rules include waste analysis. This requires them to profile incoming waste. They need to have confirmation of the waste profile from their customers by the facility and a determination if they can accept the waste. Waste profile needs to stay at the site in operating records and updated if the generation process is changed or waste is not consistent with past profiles. This includes fingerprinting, sampling of a waste on arrival, and running a specified analysis on that sample for verification. Then there's the inspection schedule, which describes the types and frequency of the inspections and what they are inspecting, whether that's communication equipment, safety equipment, or containment equipment. And then there's the personnel training, which describes what information each employee is needed to know and when they need to be retrained. The contingency plan deals with emergencies as far as explosions, spills, fires, so sorry, I didn't have this before. The contingency plan also identifies an emergency coordinator available on the premises or on call at all times. Record keeping and reporting, this section talks about what records, whether they're inspection logs or analysis results, when they need to be kept on site, how long, and who those records and reports need to be sent to. We also have the closure plan, which can be unit specific or site-wide. It doesn't necessarily mean that the whole site is closing. And this covers specifications on making sure that an active unit is properly taken out of service. Waste removal, decontamination, verification of proper cleaning, and cost estimates. And then there's the financial assurance, which assures that the company has the money in a mechanism to be used for closure and corrective action. Then we have our site, in addition to the general draft license conditions, there are site-specific draft license conditions. Container storage has a maximum allowable volume of 2,750 gallons, so about 50 containers or 55-gallon equivalents for up to 90 days. Similar to containers, tank storage has a maximum volume of 22,250 gallons for up to 90 days. The facility is prohibited from storing reactive waste. Reactive waste are chemically unstable and can undergo violent reactions in normal conditions or exposed to water. Environmental monitoring waivers. So Gage qualifies for environmental monitoring waivers for groundwater and soil because wastes are unloaded and stored. They're unloaded and stored within a building or under a roof. I'm so sorry. Disappears the moment it should be on the screen. Gage is subject to the air emission requirements for tanks and containers within the LSF, limited storage facility. Additionally, Gage's manufacturing process is subject to additional air emission requirements under RCRA and the Clean Air Act. but those requirements are not a part of this license. Gage is subject to hazardous waste cleanup requirements for releases from waste management units and areas of concern to soil and groundwater. They are currently working on an improved corrective measures plan for May 2015 and the interim measures plan approved January 13th, 2023. In this time, they have excavated some soils and installed vapor mitigation systems on site. The draft license has them continuing these interim measures. Some of you may have seen in the draft license, there was condition part 6A1. This required them to submit a plan to keep groundwater under control. They have already submitted this plan, so that condition will be removed from the license. Gage must notify trucks delivering and picking up hazardous waste to travel along specific routes that minimize hazardous material passing through commercial and higher populated residential areas in Ferndale. So along 8 Mile Road and West End Street in Wanda, or 9 Mile and Wanda Street, not west of Hilton Street. And vehicles that contain hazardous waste are prohibited from parking on the former Wanda School property. And then they must update their corrective action financial assurance. In addition to the facility meeting all of the technical requirements, Eagle has also inspected the facility quarterly. 4 inspections are conducted quarterly, including 1 compliance evaluation inspection and 3 focus compliance inspections. Additionally, a hazardous waste generator and liquid industrial byproduct inspection and universal waste inspection is conducted during one of the quarterly inspections. Any issues that are identified during an inspection are documented through violation notices or compliance communications. So currently there is open enforcement action by the United States Environmental Protection Agency for violations of the Federal Clean Air Act. This violation doesn't have anything to do with the treatment, storage, or disposal activities at the facility. The violations are related to the facility's manufacturing processes. We have copies of these violations available if anyone would like to see them after the presentation. The facility is currently in compliance of their existing license, and that helps support our decision to reissue this license. This is the end of our presentation, and we will begin the Q&A. Please just raise your hand if you have any questions, and I'll call on you. If we don't have any questions, we can start we can have a 5-minute break and then be back here. It looks like about 6:25, and we'll start the hearing.